Assalamu alaikum, welcome to a new lesson in the Wissam script. Today's lesson we are going to talk about Sad, Dad, Va and Ta. We will start with the Sad letter, and for this one the scaling would be 3 points for the width. Sad looks like this. You've got the first move, then the second move that looks like a Ba, then you go down the cup just like the scene. So this width would be 3 points. Then we are going to leave half a point below the Ba and a gap of 1 point between the upper move and the lower move. Afterwards we are going to make the same moves for the cup. So for this one, the move is going up as you see the cut angle. You turn around and you stop here. This is higher than this. That's the first thing to note. The second thing to note is that you need 1 point here, so that this move would be out like lower than this part. So you're going to put the pen here and draw half a point down here. This way you will get the 1 and you immediately turn around, as you can see. Now here you stop and you come back with this shape, because you already went up, but you want to get rid of this curve. So you add this one to it and it sort of changes the curve into this one. After that you start with the same scale that we did last time for the cup, 2.5 by 3. This needs to be bigger, and you go down, rotate and come back and just do the same cup as we did last time, making sure that both sides look identical, and make sure that your points are square shaped as much as possible. So let's write it again without the chaosity in it. As we said, you stop here, you go up, you rotate, you stop back here, then you go back and you give it 1 nudge up, down, then you make the cup, and this has to go back like this. So this way you have a Sad. Now a Ta, the Dad would be just adding 1 point here. These are the first 2 letters, Sad and Dad. The Ta and Va, they are longer and shallower. So you've got this first move would be 3.5. The inside would be half. Then the move that is coming after it is 1 point height. It's bigger than this one. And you extrude 2 points for the tail of the dot. So let's start with the scale, 1, 2, 3.5 for the first move. It's going to be shallower, therefore the curve would be a lot, how can I say it, flatter. It will be flatter than this one. Now you will need a half a point here, and here you're going to need 1 point. So you're going back and you're doing the tail. You extrude this a bit. As you can see, it's very sort of, it's smaller than this one. The Ta Alif, you leave some space here and you would go back with the Alif from above, from here. And it connects from this one. Let's do it again. You start, comes flat, then you go back, you finish. This has to be smaller actually, and the Alif comes from here. This would be a Ta, and a Da would be just a point here. Now when we connect those 2 letters, we use this part of the letter to connect. So for example, whatever the letter coming before them, you simply use this shape, you go up, you rotate, and you continue with your Sad. And if there's something connected after it, you stop the Nabira here, then you continue. Let me do it again. So you go up, you make the Sad with the focusing thing. You make the first move, the second move, and the nabira would stop here, then you would continue. So let's imagine there's a ta here. This is the way to connect sad and ta, using this shape. And this is the nabira for the sad or the dad. Try this shape to practice the sad and dad. 3 points. This might be a bit longer. This is too small. But yeah, practice the skill as much as you can. Practice your eyes to the shape of it. And that's why I tell you to always check Wissam Shawkat page on Instagram, so that you could see the perfection of each letter, because mine aren't perfect, to be honest with you. Now let's write some examples. For example, if we had Sabir, so here we are going to see a connection between the Sad and the Alif. When you connect, this part goes down, the first part, but you do it afterwards so that it's easier for you. Then you go down, stop here, you come back up with the Alif, and you add a ba, and yeah, now it's up to you which ra to choose or which ba to choose. Here we have Sabir. Let's see something about the nabira in the sad. So if we were to write tayr, which means bird, ta, and there's a ya and a ra. So you have the option of doing this ra with this ya. This is ta, ya, ra. If you were to write dayr, which means harm or sabr, you are going to write sad and you add the nabira for the sad here. Then you are going to connect this to the nudge, then to a ra. So this would be sabr أو ضير ضاير. So as you can see, for the ta there is no nabira. Meanwhile, for the sad you have to add a nabira other than the ya. Then the ra comes back here. This is very important for the letters while writing. Sometimes you forget the nabira for the sad. There's something else about this nabira, which is when it connects to letters such as ha, mim, ya, and actually ra. Yes, ra. So dur, for example. وإذا مس الإنسان ضر دعا ربه منيبا إليه. So ضاد, you went up with the nabira. Now the ra, you could use this one. This is dara, because you've got the nabira here, then the ra comes afterwards. We're talking about this shape of the nabira, the one that goes back this way. If we were to write sahih, I have to flip the paper for this one, actually we could use this part. Sahih. So we have a sad. We're going to start with the sad. Goes down, add the nabira, then comes back, then connects with a ha, this ha. Then the ha comes back, you add a ya, and the ya also has the same nabira as this one. And here's another ha. And choose whatever shape you want down here. And you add the ya here if you want. So, this is nabira for the sad, and this is nabira for the ya. And it connects from above with this shape of the ha, from here. Yeah, these are the notes for the sad and dad. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. But yeah, to recap, today we learned 4 letters, sad, dad, ta, and dha. With regards to the sad, we saw that it's 3 points. I mean, you could measure this height if it's going to help you to draw it better in a box, for example. Now here it will extrude almost 1 point for the nabira. That's fine. And the cup itself is the same as the Cian's cup. Then we saw the ta. For the ta, it's flatter and it's shallower. Then we saw how we connect both of them. We use this part of the sad and ta to connect them. Don't forget the nabira for the sad, and this is how it looks like when you connect it to something. Then we saw some examples. Sabir, to see how it connects with an alif. Tayr, talking about the difference in nabirat between the ta and the dad. Then saw a case with a ra, how it looks like, because we have this nabira that connects downwards with letters that connects from above. Because in the future, when we learn the meme, you will have to go down, do the meme, then you have to come back. So you are forced to use this shape for the meme in general. Finally, we talked about the same thing with regards to an example for the word sahih. Try these words and try to, now that you've learned the following letters, you've got alif, ba, ta and tha, you've got jim, ha and kha, you've got dal, dal, ra and zain, you've got sin, shin, sad, dad, ta, dha. Use these ones and try to connect them. For example, start with an alif. Alif is normal, you don't have to do anything with it. But for example, with a ba, try ba alif, then ba ha, with several shapes, if you might like. Then try ba dal, etc. So take this one, take the ba, and connect it to alif, ha, dal, ra, sin, sad, and dha. Then take the ha and jim and kha, connect it to a ba, to a jim, to a dal, to a, and yeah, you see how many variations you've got for every letter now. So I think it's multiplication. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8. That will give you 8 by 7 by 6 by 4 by 5 by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1, and see how much you could actually make out of these few letters. It's important for you to practice them to catch up with the next remaining letters. I think it's middle. We've got ba, ain, ghain, fa and qaf. We've got kaf, lam, mim, noon, ha, waw, ya left. So yeah, we almost finished with the third letters. I hope you enjoyed this video. By the way, you can check the playlists because each script has a playlist that is sort of devoted for that script. In the future, I will start updating those playlists for more notes and examples, practices. So yeah, subscribe to the channel if you like to. Make sure to check the playlist if you have another script to learn, if you want to learn it. Share the page with everyone if you like to. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next one. Have a lovely day and stay safe out there. Goodbye.